Okay, one, two, three. Hello everyone. I'm Prithvi Ramesh. I'm a student at BITS Pilani Goa campus. I'm a third year student, and in this short segment, I'm going to be going over our recent project report on the topic of thermal comfort in aircrafts. Moving on. So here's what we have done in this project. We will go one by one. We will first go into what is our objective. We'll go into the parameters that go into defining the thermal comfort, not just inside aircrafts, but the thermal comfort as a general concept which you can feel anywhere that any person feels. And we'll also show you how we did the simulation and how we compared the data, how we tried to capture the environment on board an aircraft, and the comfort level and the sensation of the passengers on aircrafts. And we'll also go on to present some discussions and results. Now, the very first thing that we want to talk about is thermal comfort. What is thermal comfort? Very basically, thermal comfort is a condition of mind which expresses satisfaction with the thermal environment. Are you comfortable in a thermal in some environment? Now, basically, the answer could be yes or no, but more than that, it's also a psychological thing, right? Because some people might feel comfortable in whatever in one the environment, but in the same environment, some other person may not feel comfortable. So it's a very adaptive concept. It depends upon a lot of things, the person itself. And so what has been done is a lot of research has gone on in the past to try and break down this really seemingly complex concept into a few parameters which can be easily measured and can be defined not just for one person but for the environment as a whole. What if kept we've kept 38 to 36? This is on an average. This is the range of temperature, short, very small range of temperature in which maximum number of people express thermal comfort. One more very essential requirement for maintaining thermal comfort is that the temperature of the body remains more or less constant. This is when the body does not lose heat or does not gain heat. So if you're in a place where it's very, very cold, your body will begin to lose heat. So that is a sensation of not being comfortable, right? Like your body is continuously losing heat. You're not in a stable situation. But if you're in a place that's very, very hot, a place that's very, very warm, your body is continuously gaining heat. So that's also a state of not being comfortable. So that's what we mean by thermal comfort. We're trying to define thermal comfort in this way. So I said that the rate at which the body is gaining or losing heat. Now the Q, which is the total amount of heat that the body is gaining or losing, it depends. It's mainly happening through four four basic mechanisms: C, R, E, and H. The C stands for convection, which is because of the skin temperature. If the skin temperature is hot or if it's low, then you can gain or you can lose heat. And there's also radiation. Radiation also depends on skin temperature. As you lose radiation from the human body, you have of course seen some videos of a human body in the infrared cameras, and you've also seen like the heat signature. That is our body slowly losing heat through radiation. And then here's an evaporation. Now the thing with evaporation is that all the other three, convection, radiation, and conduction, which will come to next, they can allow the body to gain or lose heat. But evaporation, that is perspiration and sweating, you can even call sweating, that is only used for losing heat. That's one special thing about this thing. It can only be positive on that place. It'll only be losing heat. Okay. This happens if you're in an environment in which your body is wants to lose heat. If it's so, what does is it perspires. And one more thing is, why does our body have to gain or lose heat in the first place? That is because our body itself actually produces heat from within. It is called the metabolic activities. There's so much metabolic activities happening inside our body. We're digesting food, we're breathing, all these things happening inside our body. So every human body produces some amount of heat, which he or she have to get rid of. So that heat depends upon both Q and W. Heat release is equal to Q and W. The Q is the heat that's being released from the body, and the W is the heat, is actually mechanical work. Mechanical work depends upon how much physically active you are. Like if you go to the next slide, if we just go here, you can see here that the metabolic rate can be defined for different types of positions. If you're sitting, if you're not doing any physical activity, it's taken as 1 met. 1 met is equal to 60 watt per meter square, by the way. So 1 met, if you're driving, is about 1 to 2 met. But if you're running or if you're hiking, it increases because you are putting in a lot of physical activity and your body is generating heat. So so you're playing tennis or if you're hiking and all, there's a higher amount of heat being given off from your body. So there's 1 met, 8 met, it goes up to 8 met. So this is also a very important parameter into consideration. Now, so this is the basics of basic part of thermal comfort. Now, coming on to the scheme that we have used to actually coming on to the scheme which we have actually used to define thermal comfort. There are two things which we have used to define not just thermal comfort but also the physical environment. These are the predicted mean vote and the predicted percentage of dissatisfaction. Now these two are actually empirical parameters which are defined using empirical equations, and these two are used to these two are used for so these two were actually created based on surveys on heat balance and census surveys in the 1970s by a researcher called P.O. Fagner. And so these two equations were given. Hello, Dhyan.